handbook, which is right now getting edited. By 1st of April, this program will be launched, and that handbook will be available. The students will purchase it, and they will come to you with the handbook. Will show to you what are the features of the handbook. Over to Anita.
So just a request, please put your phones on silent mode, because we are going to do recording as well. And this is just a sensitization program, okay? Orientation and sensitization. So you listen to the presentation, and if you have questions, we will have some time for that.
So good afternoon everyone, and welcome to this orientation program for faculty mentors. I hope I'm audible till the end. Clear? Yes. So we have gathered here to get ourselves oriented for the guidelines which has been given by National Medical Council regarding the mentorship program, which are latest guidelines. As the first professional year teachers, we had already been involved in a mentor-mentee program, and we have been given 15 students each. So from anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, we have already been taking care of certain students as mentors. But this year they have introduced certain more guidelines where all the faculties from various departments have to be involved, and this program has certain key points which I'm going to be mentioning in the later part of the presentation. So first, let us discuss about the principles which are involved in the mentoring process. We will also understand the NMC guidelines about mentorship, and eventually you will be able to apply these guidelines on the UG and the PG curriculum. So these are today's learning objectives. Albert Schweitzer had once said, "In everyone's life at some time our inner fire goes out. It is then burst into flame by an encounter with another human being, and that human being is the mentor." So if you talk about the word mentor, what is the origin of the word mentor? It was actually, if you remember, there was a poet called Homer in Greek mythology, had written a poem in 18th century by the name Odyssey. So in this Odyssey, there was a person called as Odysseus. He was proceeding for the Trojan War, and he entrusted his very close confidant, friend and guide and a wise advisor by the name Mentor. His son Telemachus was handed over to him to take care of this child of his. So that is the origin of the word mentor. So the mentor-mentee program is actually, it was previously also present in Indian system. If you remember Gurukul culture, the Guru Shishya Parampara, not the one shown in Mohabbatein and Mr. Amitabh Bachchan was the one, but the one real Gurukul Parampara where a Guru used to mentor, guide and support a Shishya right from the beginning till many years, taking care of overall development of that Shishya. Similarly, in MBA also and in engineering, in certain courses also, they have apprenticeship. But medical curriculum does not have such a system. There is career counseling, there is problem solving, but not mentorship. So what is this mentorship all about? So mentoring, it's a process whereby an experienced, highly regarded, empathetic person, that is the mentor, guides another, usually younger individual, the mentee, in the development and re-examination of their own ideas, learning, personal and professional development. And a mentor is usually a wise and trusted advisor or counselor who guides, teaches and encourages the mentee for the overall development. So if you see, the mentor and mentee roles are very clearly well defined. So a mentor has to be somebody who is a subject expert, somebody who's very empathetic, approachable, a guide. He should have great listening skills, a person who can motivate, who can contribute, who can be a collaborator. So many such things are there. It's a huge list if you name a few. Similarly, mentee also has various roles specified. The mentee has to be a proactive person, should take initiative, should approach the mentor himself or herself, should abide to the guidelines or the boundaries which are created by the mentor, and should abide to the ground rules, and should be enthusiastic, etc. So there is a huge list as far as role of mentee is concerned. So a mentoring process involves motivation by the mentor, advice, success, direction, they're moving in a particular direction, coaching, support, achieving a goal together, and also training, both the mentor and mentee, the way we are receiving training now as mentors. So there is a very fine line between a teacher, a coach, and a mentor if you see. So if you see this particular picture, you see that the teacher and coach, they fall in the category of short-term guides. But whereas a mentor is for a long-term thing. So a teacher and coach will eventually help in achieving certain skills and competencies which are very short-term goals, which are achieved in a short period of time. Whereas mentor is going to guide for a long-term process and overall development of the mentee will be achieved. So there are 6 C's to achieve a successful mentor-mentee relationship. You should connect. A mentor and mentee needs to connect with each other. They should communicate. There are so many modes of communication nowadays. It need not be person to person. Collaborate on achieving various goals together. Celebrate small and big successes. Cultivate a culture of growth and development. And circulate. Should have a networking skill. So they should broaden their horizons, include more people in achieving the overall goal. But so there are certain myths also. Myths because there is a traditional way of mentoring, and now what we are having right now is the contemporary way of mentoring. Initially, we used to think that mentor will always be a senior person, somebody who will be in the hierarchy, superior person and having all the expertise. That used to be the fundamental knowledge about it. But nowadays we know that mentor could be a person who is younger but a subject expert. Is more experienced in terms of experience rather than in terms of number of years. Secondly, we initially had a one-to-one interaction between a mentor and a mentee. Now that is not required because we are living in a digital age. We could connect through Zoom, we could connect through phone, WhatsApp, etc. It is very time consuming, that was the concept. It is not time consuming if you make it a structured way, if you plan it, if you schedule it, right? Then we also thought that there is always learning is flowing from the mentor to the mentee. All of you are guides for your PG students. So you understand many things we get to learn from our PG students as well. So the flow of knowledge can go from the mentee to the mentor also. So it's always a two-way process. So as I already said that, we used to think that person as mentor is always going to be a senior person. It's not required anymore. A mentee could be senior also and a mentor could be a junior also. And usually we think that one mentor and one mentee, that is the rule. It's not the rule anymore. There could be multiple mentors to achieve various goals and multiple mentees. One mentor can have multiple mentees. Usually the mentoring follows a particular specific cycle. So what is this cycle all about? First of all, in phase 1 is to have clarification about the expectation. Expectation of whom? The expectation of the mentor from the mentee and the mentee's expectation from the mentor and vice versa. So what exactly are you expecting? What goal do we want to achieve? Why are we collaborating? We have to establish that expectation from each other. A basic building up of rapport, a trust, mutual trust between the two is mandatory for any type of relationship for that matter. Contracting, basically a ground rules. You cannot all the time 24/7 mentors cannot be available for mentees. So there has to be a time schedule which has to be followed, certain rules to be followed, certain boundaries to be maintained. So that should be clear in the beginning itself. Now this is a developing relationship. So there will be productive phase where there will be some certain short-term goals, certain long-term goals which needs to be achieved. So both the mentor and mentee will work together to achieve these particular goals, and in time they will review the process and keep upgrading the skills and the goals. Eventually the relationship will mature. Now the goals which were set earlier now have been achieved. The mentee might want to move on, the mentor might want to move on, and the relationship has to come to a closure. So that proper closure has to be given to a mentor-mentee relationship after reflecting on the whole process, after giving feedback to each other, what went correct, what went wrong, and taking example from that and having a better relationship thereafter. So you would say that when we are a mentor to a mentee, for example, we are a mentor to a PG student, so relationship will end after 3 years once we have guided the student. Do you think? But we move on, we go on to have friendships, we go on to have them as family, friends, etc., etc. So relationship does continue, but that type of relationship has changed. It cannot be called a mentor-mentee relationship anymore. It becomes something different. So mentor-mentee relationship has to come to a closure after the achievement of all the goals. So these are some of the nuances of mentoring cycle. So how to be an effective mentor? So mentors are not born but developed. Of course, some are born mentors also. So they have certain people have natural talent, but others need to develop it. That's why we are here getting oriented, and that's why we have BCME courses also. Mentors also need mentoring. That's what we are doing here, all right? And there is always need to be a balance between support and challenge. So sometimes you have to handhold the mentee, sometimes you have to sit back and relax and let the mentee take the lead. Mentors have problems too. We have so many things to do in the institute. We have administrative work, we have clinical work, we have so many different faculties to cater to. So we have limited time which we can allot extra for the mentorship program. So we have to keep that in mind. Also the mentee has to be mindful about it. And mentors need to strictly stick to mentoring process. Mentoring needs protected time. So there is a scheduled time, should be a, for example, when we are in first professional year, we were mentors to the UG batch. We always told them that you have to contact us between 9 to 4. Unless and until there is an emergency, something very urgent has to be talked about, stick to the timeline of 9 to 4. Right? So stick to the timeline. And mentors need recognition also. They need to be acknowledged. So the mentee have to respect, as well as mentee has to acknowledge the contribution of the mentor, the extra efforts mentors are taking. Mentors need to be aware of the gender and cultural issues. So be mindful if the mentee may not be comfortable, a female mentee may not be comfortable with a male mentor. So you have to be mindful of that as well. Now coming to the guidelines which are set by the NMC now. The NMC now wants that there should be a structured mentor-mentee program which should be started right from the inception, that is from the foundation course, till the completion of the internship. They want to focus mainly on the aspects of career development, advancement of various academic processes, ethical conduct, etc. And they also want to include senior students as mentors, so that an environment of sibling sibling cooperation can be attained. So we already have a mentorship program in place where there will be, earlier used to have preceptors also. The senior students used to be the preceptors. So all of us were like around 10 faculty from the first professional year branches, and 10 or to 15 students each were allotted to each of these faculties. So but we mentored them only through the first year. We did not follow these students till the end of the internship. That is the new change. So let us also see further key points. Mentor selection. As sir was pointing out, that super speciality people also should be included. We'll keep that in mind, and maybe next time we will include those as well. So mentor should be a senior faculty member with appropriate experience and qualification. The ratio between mentor-mentee should be very small, around 1:3, 1 mentor to 3 mentees. That's why 15 mentors have been chosen from the whole of the institute, and each of the mentor has been allotted 3 students, because we have a batch of 150 students in the first professional year. Early initiation, meaning the mentor-mentee relationship should be established during the foundation course itself and continuing through the completion of the compulsory rotatory medical internship. So right from the beginning till the end, student will be with you. What do you guide about? What do you mentor about? You have to stick to these points. Academic matters, clinical skills, career development, personal development, ethical conduct. These are the headings under which we have to stick to ourselves, how to mentor, how to give guidance to the students. Regarding the frequency of meetings which need to be conducted between the mentor and the mentee, the recommendation is 4 meetings per year. That means every 3 monthly or quarterly you will have one meeting. It could be a group meeting, means all the mentees together can come and meet a mentor. It could be single one-to-one interaction between one mentee and one mentor, depending upon the requirement or the initiation by the mentee. If some issue is there which is a confidential issue, some sensitive issue which the mentee cannot discuss in front of other mentees, so you have to have a separate meeting. So these meetings, in addition to the 4 meetings per year, will be guided by the requirement of the mentee. Feedback. Now feedback for any program is very, very important. The mentor has to receive a feedback and mentee also has to receive a feedback. So that's why the NMC has given us an option of mentor's handbook. So we can formulate our own handbook. In fact, we already have formulated. We have taken this handbook and modified it. The Cooper Medical College and Cooper Hospital was using this, so we have modified it as per our requirement in NIR. So I'll be showing you that as well. So let me just go through what are the advantages that the NMC says of these mentorship program. There is improved academic performance, there are enhanced clinical skills, there is reduced stress and anxiety among the mentees, better career planning and decision making, there is positive impact on professional development, and it also helps in prevention of ragging and promotion of a healthy peer environment. So currently there is this mentor-mentee program with 15 students under one faculty, which is going to be discontinued for 31st March. And from 1st April onward, the new mentor-mentee program for which we have kept this orientation, 3 mentee per mentor as recommended by NMC, because there are 150 students and 50 mentors. As this batch graduates to 2nd professional year next year, a new batch will join in 2025 August. And from that batch also 3 students will be allotted to the mentors. And once these senior students, they can also be included as student mentors for their juniors. Alright, so that's how it will go on, the process will go on. So every year 3 more students will keep on adding to the mentors. I hope I'm clear about that.
So that